Sammo HUNG, Chinese, Diet Bing, Hung 4 Dam 1, Gu 2. Born January 7, 1952, is a Hong Kong actor, martial artist, film producer, and director, known for his work in martial arts films, Hong Kong action cinema. Born in Hong Kong, both of his parents worked as wardrobe artists in the local film industry, and guardianship was thrust upon his grandparents. His grandmother was archetypal martial art actress Jin Tsiang, and his grandfather was film director Hung Chung-ho. Hung joined the China Drama Academy, a Peking Opera School in Hong Kong, in 1961. He was enrolled for a period of 7 years, beginning at the age of 9. After his grandparents heard about the school from their friends. The opera school was run by Master Yu Jim Yuan, and as was customary for all students, Hung adopted the given name of his Sifu as his family name whilst attending. Going by the name Yuan Lung, Hung became the foremost member of the Seven Little Fortunes performing group, and would establish a friendly rivalry with one of the younger students, Yuan Lo. Yuan Lo would go on to become international superstar Jackie Chan. At the age of 14, Hung was selected by a teacher who had connections to the Hong Kong film industry to perform stunts on a movie. This brief foray into the industry piqued his interest in film, and he took particular interest in the operation of film cameras. As the eldest of the troupe, Hung would give his opera school brothers pocket money from his earnings, endearing him greatly to his young friend. Shortly before leaving the academy at the age of 16, Hung suffered an injury that left him bedridden for an extended period, during which time his weight ballooned. After finding work in the film industry as a stuntman, he was given a nickname after a well-known Chinese cartoon character, Sammo. Many years later, in 1988, Hung starred in Alex Law's Painted Faces, a dramatic retelling of his experiences at the China Drama Academy. Among the exercises featured in the film are numerous acrobatic backflips, and hours of handstands performed against a wall. Despite some of the more brutal exercises and physical punishments shown in Painted Faces, Hung and the rest of the Seven Little Fortunes consider the film a toned-down version of their actual experiences. Hung appeared as a child actor in several films for Cathay Asia and Bobo Films during the early 1960s. His film debut was in the 1961 film Education of Love. In 1962, he made his first appearance alongside Jackie Chan in the film Big and Little Wong Tin Bar, followed by a role in The Birth of Yu Fei, in which he played the 10-year-old Yu Fei, the historical figure from the Song dynasty who would go on to become a famous Chinese general and martyr. The majority of Hung's performance was alongside another actor portraying Zhou Tong, Yu's elderly military arts tutor. In 1966, at the age of just 14, Hung began working for Shaw Brothers Studio, assisting the action director Han In-jie on King Hu's film Come Drink With Me. He again caught the eye of celebrated Taiwanese director King Hu. Hung choreographed Who's the Fate of Lee Khan. In the same year, Hung went to South Korea to study Hapkido under Master Ji Han-jae. Also in 1973, he was seen in the Bruce Lee classic, Enter the Dragon. Hung was the Shaolin student Lee faces in the opening sequence. In 1975, Hung appeared in The Man from Hong Kong, billed as the first Australian martial arts film. Toward the late 1970s, Hong Kong cinema began to shift away from the Mandarin language, epic martial art films popularized by directors such as Chang Cheh. In a series of films, Hung, along with Jackie Chan, began reinterpreting the genre by making comedic Cantonese kung fu. While these films still strongly featured martial arts, it was mixed with a liberal dose of humor. In 1977, Hung was given his first lead role in a Golden Harvest production in the film Shaolin Plot. In 1978, Raymond Chow gave Hung the task of completing the fight coordination for the reshoot of Game of Death. The film Bruce Lee was unable to complete before his death in 1973. After Jackie Chan's success with Drunken Master, Hung was scheduled to make a similar film featuring Drunken Master's beggar So character played by Yuan Shu-tien. As his elder, Sammo's films were expected to surpass Chan's in popularity. The film was The Magnificent Butcher, which Hung co-directed with Yuan Wu-ping. However, during filming Yuan Shu-tien died of a heart attack. He was replaced by Fan Mei Sheng, and Yuan's absence may have led to low ticket sales. As Hung's fame grew, he used his newly found influence to assist his former China Drama Academy classmates, as well as the former students of rival school, the Spring and Autumn Drama School. Aside from regular collaborations with Chan, others such as Yuan Biao, Yuan Hua, Lam Qingying, and Meng Hui also began to make regular appearances in his films. In 1978 and 1981, Hung made two films that contain fine examples of the Wing Chun style. The first, Warriors 2, was the most significant role to date for South Korean super kicker Casanova Wong, who teamed up with Hung in the final fight. The second film was The Prodigal Son, in which the Wing Chun fighting was performed by Lam Qingying. The release of The Prodigal Son, along with another film directed by and co-starring Hung, Knockabout, also shot his fellow opera schoolmate Yuan Biao to stardom. Hung's martial arts films of the 1980s helped reconfigure how martial arts were presented on screen. While the martial arts films of the 1970s generally featured highly stylized fighting sequences in period or fantasy settings, Hung's choreography, set in modern urban areas, was more realistic and frenetic, featuring long one-on-one fight scenes. The The fight sequences from several of these films, such as those in Winners and Sinners and Wheels on Meals, came to define 1980s martial arts movies. In 1983, the collaboration between the triumvirate of Hung, Jackie Chan, and Yuen Biao began with Chan's Project A, Hung. Chan and Yuen were known as the Three Dragons, and their alliance lasted for 5 years. Although Yuen continued to appear in the films of Hung and Chan, the final film to date starring all three was 1988's Dragons Forever. Hung was also responsible for the Lucky Stars comedy film series in the 90s. He directed and co-starred in the original trilogy, Winners and Sinners, My Lucky Stars, and Twinkle, Twinkle Lucky Stars. These first 3 films featured Chan and Biao in supporting roles. Hung also produced and played a supporting role in the 4th film, Lucky Stars Go Places, and made a cameo appearance in the 6th and final film, How to Meet the Lucky Stars. During the 1980s, Hung was instrumental in creating the jiangshi genre, jiangshi being hopping reanimated corpses, a Chinese equivalent to Western vampires. 2 landmark films, Encounters of the Spooky Kind and the Dead, and the Deadly, featured jiangshi who move in standing jumps towards their victims, as well as Taoist priests with the ability to quell these vampires through magical spells and charms. Hung's jiangshi films would pave the way for films such as the popular Mr. Vampire, which he also produced, and its sequels. He revitalized the subgenre of female-led martial art films, producing cop films such as Yes, Madam aka Police Assassin. Introduced stars Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock. After some relatively poor performances at the domestic box office, Hung had a dispute with studio head Raymond Chow. Hung had produced the thriller Into the Fire, but Hung felt Golden Harvest had withdrawn the film from cinemas too soon. The disagreement led to Hung parting company with Golden Harvest in 1991, after 21 years with the company. Whilst continuing to produce films through his own company Bojan Films Company Ltd, Hung failed to equal his early successes. His fortunes improved somewhat as the helmer of Mr. Nice Guy, a long-awaited reunion with Chan. In 1994, Hung coordinated the fight sequences in Wong Kar-wai's wuxia epic, Ashes of Time. In 1998, U.S. television network CBS began to broadcast martial law on Saturday nights, an action drama built around Hung. The hour-long shows were a surprise success and installed Hung as the only East Asian headlining a prime-time network series. The television series was executive produced and occasionally directed by Stanley Tong, and co-starred Arsenio Hall. Hung reportedly recited some of his English dialogue phonetically. During 2000-2001, Hung expressed interest in creating a film adaptation of the video game Soul Calibur. The production agreement for the film was made around April 2001 with an estimated budget of $50 million. Hung had the idea of producing a martial arts epic with Jackie Chan in the lead role, but the film was never made. Hung's plans were detailed on his website, but after a year the announcement was removed. The film rights have since been acquired by Warren Zide, the producer of American Pie and Final Destination. No film ever materialized. Hung found renewed success in the Hong Kong film industry in the 2000s, beginning with The Legend of Zoo, the long-awaited sequel to the 1983 hit Zoo Warriors from the Magic Mountain. In 2004, Stephen Chow's Kung Fu Hustle was released. Though Yuan Wuping was credited for the martial arts choreography on Kung Fu Hustle, Hung actually did the preliminary work but left the film midway through, and Yuan filled in to complete it. Because of his departure from the film, there was tabloid speculation that he and Chow had strong differences over the film, resulting in their separation. Chow has since responded that Hung left for personal reasons and not because of speculated tensions. In 2004, Hung again worked with Jackie Chan in a brief but notable appearance in Disney's Around the World in 80 Days as the legendary folk hero Wong Fei Hung, a character played by Chan in the Drunken Master series. In 2005, Hung was involved in Daniel Lee's Dragon Squad and Wilson Yip's SPL, Sha Palang. In the latter, Hung played a villain for the first time in over 25 years, and had his first ever fight scene against Donnie Yen. One of the key relationships in SPL had been Hung's role as the adoptive father of Wu Jing's character. However, these scenes were dropped from the final film as the director couldn't find a way to fit them into the film. In response to this, a prequel film was planned. Hung appeared alongside Wu Jing again in 2007's Twins Mission with stars, the Twins. In early 2008, Hung starred in Fatal Move, in which he and Ken Lo played a pair of rival triad gang leaders. He also starred in and performed action choreography for Daniel Lee's Three Kingdoms. Resurrection of the Dragon with Andy Lau and Maggie Q. The film was based on the book Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Anthony Sito's film, Wushu, which stars Hung, premiered in Beijing in October 2008. The film was unveiled by Golden Network at the 2008 Cannes Film Festival. Jackie Chan was the film's executive producer and worked on the film in an advisory capacity, assisting with marketing and casting. Hung then worked again with director Wilson Yip and star Donnie Yen as the action director for the 2008 film Ip Man. In 2010, Hung was given a Lifetime Achievement Award at the New York Asian Film Festival, where 4 of his films were shown. That year Hung appeared in Ip Man 2, which he also choreographed. His role is that of a Hung master who challenges Ip Man. In the same year, Hung appeared in the movie The Legend is Born, Ip Man as well. He acts as Chan Wa-shun, the martial arts teacher of Ip Man. The annual and highly anticipated Hong Kong International Film Festival was held for its 45th edition in April 2021. Hung is one of the 6 veteran Hong Kong filmmakers who directed renowned local director Johnny Fung's highly anticipated anthology series, Septet, The Story of Hong Kong. The other filmmakers include Ringo Lam and Huiyan Hua, Patrick Tam Kar Ming, Suri Hark, Yuan Wu Ping, and Johnny Tu. The short files were shot entirely on 35mm film, with each of them touches on a nostalgic and moving story set across time periods, with everyone acting as an ode to the city. In between films and special appearances, Hung has appeared in several East Asian television series. In 2003, he was in 2 mainland Chinese series, Undercover Cop with Fan Bingbing, followed by The Valley of Lost Vengeance. More recently, he played a master con artist in the Taiwanese series Coming Lies and Wing Chun master Wong Wabo in Wing Chun, reprising the role he played in The Prodigal Son over 20 years earlier. He co-starred in the series alongside Yuan Biao, Nicholas Tsay, and his youngest son, Sammo HUNG. Hung appeared as a guest judge on the China-Beijing TV station reality television series The Disciple, which aired in mainland China and was produced by and featured Jackie Chan. The aim of the program was to find a new star, skilled in acting and martial arts, to become Chan's successor, the champion being awarded the lead role in a film.